Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Wow, we find ourselves already in module 6 and week 6 of this term, and hope you're finding the effective leadership concepts and learning outcomes over the past 5 weeks valuable to you as we move into the topic of agility this week. Obviously, at this point, we've spent a lot of time talking about the importance of self-awareness as a leader, certainly the importance of the ability as a leader to engage and inspire others in your organization, both on and in your teams and around the organization and outside of your teams and groups. We talked about the importance as a leader of being able to effectively influence each other and influence others, and what traits an influencer and a positive and a collaborative influencer demonstrates in their organization. Last module 5, we spent a lot of time on the concept of strategic vision and innovation. Certainly so important as from a followership perspective. Followers are looking for so much from us in terms of being as leaders, forward thinking, helping to create energy in the organization around where our go forward is and how we're going to get there, and leveraging the team's capabilities to support and help that. And then obviously being innovative at the same time, and the traits around what it means to be an innovative leader. I really liked a lot of the examples and discussions we got into last week on how you all can find and be more influential at work, and those that you find that are, not just influential but innovative, and what you find to be the traits of those that demonstrate a level of innovation, and how you can demonstrate that more in your own work environment through the discussions we had last week. Great stuff. By the way, I also really appreciated all of your personal brand you videos. In particular, what I'm looking for as I look for those videos is how much you demonstrate, again, an ability to be clear and succinct in your communications and the message. But more importantly, as this is an effective leadership class, really, what do you bring to someone that's watching that video in terms of both your own passion and how you connect with the audience in a way that makes you wants them to follow you and be engaged with you, and would be inspired to have you on their team ultimately. Again, so as we've talked about for weeks, this concept of leadership is really about inspiring others to make the choice to want to follow you. Well, this week we move into agility. And as all of you know, this is one of the Lake Forest leadership model traits that is so essential. Given, I think I've used this term before, given this VUCA world we live in, the level of sheer volatility we're dealing with in the competitive markets we all compete and operate in, the uncertainty of those markets and competitive environments, the rate at which technology is driving change and the complexity that brings, and how to compete effectively in those markets from a leadership standpoint. And also the ambiguity, the fact that answers and solutions aren't necessarily completely apparent as we're all finding the need to solve more complex problems in our work environments. Yet, given this pace of change, there's a significant responsibility on leadership to be more agile and to help to move the organization at a pace that helps to keep it relevant. So this week, as we talk about agility, there are a couple of different activities or exercises you'll all be involved in. One is individually, is posting your thoughts and discussion on, after you've really reflected and thought about traits that drive leaders to be more agile. We've talked about a lot of leadership traits today, but we're particularly zeroing in on what are the attributes or traits that leaders have that enhance their ability as leaders to be agile. I wanted to get your perspectives on that. Each of you will be posting your top 5 as you've kind of, let's say, mind mapped a group of, or brainstormed on a group of various attributes, picking your top 5 and posting a discussion about those top 5 attributes and why you picked them on the discussion. And then we'll all talk a little bit more about that. We'll also, during the course of this week, talk about, by the way, this concept of leadership agility. The faculty and administration at Lake Forest has been giving a lot of thought to over the past couple of years, especially as we did some redesign on our own leadership model itself. And we spent a lot of time on really trying to understand better what we meant by leadership agility. So I'll be anxious to see your own personal thoughts, and I'll come back and reflect on what are the attributes that we look for and we believe are essential to be an agile leader. And they fit into, for us, a number of core categories that I think you're going to find many of your attributes fall right into. We've just had the luxury of a little over a year to kind of noodle that amongst the entire faculty versus a few days or weeks, a few days that you've had to kind of noodle on that kind of thought itself. But I think you'll see some real synergy between both of our ideas and thoughts kind of coming together on that. And then we'll talk, you've also got a project this week where you're going to solve on an agile basis a scenario that's posted in Module 6, where you'll be being agile as a leadership group and team to kind of look at that particular scenario and propose a solution to that. And the outline for that exercise is pretty well outlined this week as well. So again, let's get started on this concept of agility, and I look forward to discussing it more with you. One last thing, I sent an email to everyone last evening. I need to have as soon as possible from you folks all as a group and team on your leadership challenge presentation. As a group, you'll be presenting as the final on the last day of last session meeting that we'll have together, and a video presentation via WebEx. So please make your choices or your choice of what particular companies or industry that you're going to pick to do to use as the platform from which you're going to drive. You're going to try to solve the leadership challenge using what you've learned during the course of, from a effective leadership perspective during the course of this term. So please submit that as soon as possible. I think my request was no later than Wednesday of this week. And again, the benefit to all of you is the sooner that you submit that to me, the quicker you all can begin to do some of the research that's available out there on this particular company industry it participates in, so that you can begin to build the context and background that you'll need, and research that you'll need to help to determine where the business is and how you begin and how you understand the problems from a leadership perspective they have, and how you're going to solve them given the tools that you've been and learning outcomes you've been building on during the course of this term. So I look forward to our discussions this week and getting kind of deep in this topic of leadership agility, and sharing with you, as I said, some of the learning that we as a faculty and organization at Lake Forest have kind of come together on, as we've given a lot of thought to the important elements of what really leadership agility means. Have a great week, and look forward to talking with you more this week.